morning. All right, time to get going. Yeah. All right, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 20,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of planning our trades in advance. Because trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone, your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Hey, my name is Wayne. Dirty glasses. Anyways, good morning. It's Monday. I've been trading for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Well, since yesterday. If you're just starting, you're already basically a half a day behind. I don't know if you know this, but the market's open on Sundays. Yeah, so anyways, good to see you. How are you? Hope you had a nice weekend. I was nearly struck by lightning, but other than that, it was boring. So what's going on in the world today? CPI, balance of trade. Yep, lots of interesting things going on. I think we have the last 20% of the S&P500 reporting, so we're almost through that. Yeah, so very cool. Very cool. So it won't be boring. It's just steady and steady and steady and steady and steady, the news flow this week. So that's great. And we're in the middle of our fade that we've been waiting for and then observing, and now it's happening. Very cool. And then we're slowly preparing for the next big thing, which will happen a couple of weeks from now. Oh, how was I almost struck by lightning? Oh, good question. I'm sitting outside with my laptop, smoking a cigar, and doing research. Yeah, doing my homework as a trader. Yeah. And of course, it's just absolutely downpouring, massive rain. The trees are leaning over in the wind. Yeah, I like being outside. And then the sound I've never heard before, literally just maybe 100 feet from me, probably even closer than that. The sound of the lightning striking the ground. And the sound came from the ground. That's how you knew it was that close. So it wasn't from the sky. It wasn't thunder. It was lightning probably coming up from the ground. So remarkable. Yeah. So it struck my property somewhere. I don't know if it hit the pool or hit something, but it was loud enough where I went upstairs to make sure the house wasn't on fire or something like that. And the kids came out of the room. They're like, "Did you hear that?" I'm like, "Yep." Yeah. Did you hear that? It was really something. Yeah, it was really something. But anyways, whatever. Just doing my job. So anyways, I'm prepared for the week. And that's what I was doing. Prepared for the week, and a little bit of rain's not going to stop me. It was quite an electrical storm, though. There were scenarios where thunder would last about a minute. One thunder. So there was a lot of electricity in these clouds. Amazing. They would just go and go and go and go and sound like a freight train going by. Just the thunder, just nonstop thunder, one big thunder all around you for a minute. Yeah, it was a wonderful, wonderful display of power. Thank you, Mother Nature. All right, cool. So anyways, yeah, so we got a lot of news and stuff, lots going on. Let's get to the point where I show you some resources. No, we'll do Trader's Way first. Trader's Way. We all need a broker. I'd like you to check out tradersway.com. I recommend them and they recommend me. It's a symbiotic relationship, of course. But the big thing, and you've probably heard it 1,000 times, but it's always worth repeating. Because I think you're trying to find a broker and there's all these ads. We're the cheapest. We're the best. We offer the most. All this nonsense. By the way, you don't want the cheapest because they're probably lying to you, almost certainly lying to you. So you don't see the pip they take on the slippage on the way in, and you don't see the pip they take on the slippage on the way out. So your broker that you picked because you think is the cheapest is probably actually one of the more expensive. They just suckered you. Trader's Way, I don't notice any strange slippage or anything like that. In fact, there was a broker in the United States, a big one, many years ago, and the NFA that regulated them, they said, look, if you're going to slip against your clients, you have to slip for them, not just against them, because they found the slippage built into the trading algorithm. And then the wisdom of the government, they told them, you should be able to, if you're going to slip against them, you should slip for them every once in a while. Instead of saying, what, you trade against your clients and you're building in slippage, so you're basically lying to your clients, right? I mean, this really happened. So then the NFA forced this broker to send an email to all their clients, and I got it. I got this email, and they said they will now slip for you, not just against you. Which is like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I can't even think of an analogy. It's sort of like being caught for a violent crime. So you do community service, but you can continue doing your violent crimes. And like it, you know, if you steal $1 million, you have to pay a $200,000 fine. You're like, well, it's still worth robbing banks, right? So I don't know. It's weird. I don't observe anything like that at Trader's Way. But the big one was major brokers went out of business when the Swiss National Bank pulled the plug on their peg to the euro, and exposed many very, very large, in fact, some of the largest retail, or the largest retail Forex brokerages in the world, they went out of business because they got caught holding the bag on this surprise shock. And those brokers lost hundreds of millions of dollars overnight, but what it exposed was that they were trading against their clients, even though one of them claimed to be a non-dealing desk, whatever that means. Well, apparently they were trading against their clients. So, long story short, Trader's Way was perfectly fine because they didn't do that. They're actually an ECN. They just straight through processing. And I'm like, you know what? Thank you, Trader's Way. Honestly, I'm like, thank you. They make money, of course, but by providing a service to you. They don't make money by trading against you, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I like that they put this Porsche logo there. I didn't tell them to do that. I think that's my webcam. I have a nicer phone than that. That just looks like a silly little iPhone. The candy phone you buy your kids, you know. Anyways, yeah. So Trader's Way, honestly, that's they earned my loyalty and respect through their actions, and I think you should check them out. How would you like 100 hours worth of hardcore lecture style training courses. How'd you like 100 hours of them? Would $88 a year be a fair price? Well, that's the price I charge. I don't think I'm going to charge it for very much longer. I think I'll raise it. Maybe you'll get one course for 88 and then upgrade or something. But right now, it's still, I lowered the price during COVID. Right at the beginning of COVID, when people were locked at home and it was the end of the world, I lowered price by like 90%. Okay? Seriously, this is how I got to $88. I lowered the price by 90% as a means to, I don't know, support people in the beginning of COVID so that you had something to focus on and do. So I made it $88 a year. It's dumb. The price is so stupid. It's so ridiculously cheap, but I hope it shows that these courses aren't trash and cheap. They're actually cost me tens of thousands of dollars to make. But I hope it shows, I don't know, at some level or another I care. I hope you take it that way. But anyway, so there you go. I have some live groups and they're awesome, but if you don't pay the $88, then it don't matter none. Okay. Moses says, hey, the 3 strategies to trade oil, are they available? No, that was a bonus for those that attended the live presentation. And they spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to attend the live course. That was their free bonuses. So you can watch the recordings, and they're amazing. Even myself, I made the course. I gave the course. I'd like to watch my course again. But out of respect for those that paid hundreds of dollars to attend live over 16 weeks, that was a benefit to them, and I will respect that benefit. Yep. And in fact, another way of saying it is I deleted them. So thank you for those that attended live, and I hope you understand for those that are watching the recordings that are included at no additional cost, right? So anyways, here's something new that you guys will really like. Tradeplans.ai. Hey, welcome to Tradeplans.ai, where you can get feedback on your trading idea in less than 3 seconds. So we've had more updates. Notice now we break it into asset class. More asset classes coming, so it's easier to do all this. So you could do like an Ethereum trade. You want to buy Ethereum. You put in your buy, your target, your stop. You upload a screenshot of your trade plan. So for example, I guess I got to bring up something. I'll just bring up pound. Okay. So let's say I'm doing a trade plan on pound Swissy, right? I have Windows because I trade. So get a Windows machine. Anyway, so snip. I open up the free snipping tool that comes with all Windows machines. Okay. You grab a screenshot, right? Cool. And it looks like this. You can draw your screenshot. So let's say I wanted to buy this. So I'd say, oops, okay, oh, delete. Okay, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. If that was a bullish trade plan. Okay, then I would save it. Okay, I could put it in here. And then you upload it to tradeplans.com, right? Cool. And you'll see why, because not only do you get feedback from Aiden, our AI, but you'll also get social feedback. And so we need an image for you to get social feedback. And you submit that, and by the time you've hit submit and roll over to your email, you'll already have feedback. Oh, they didn't do the updates. Snap. There's supposed to be updates here. Hey, welcome to Tradeplans.ai. Ooh, good. I get to yell at people. Cool. So anyways, super clean, super fast, super easy, and you will be amazed. You will be amazed at the feedback you're going to get. And I think many people will start to see how amazing the feedback is. And then the idea here is before you actually put in a live trade, get in a second opinion. Every time you want to make a trade, just check what Aiden thinks first. Just double check. You'll get a different point of view on 3 different time frames about your trade plan. We don't know if Aiden is right or wrong. It's simply artificial intelligence. It's only a neural network. But it's a second opinion, another way of looking at what you're thinking about. And you're like, oh, God, that would be really helpful. And to me, it's really interesting because I taught them how to trade. I taught the AI how to trade. So by and large, when I post a trade plan and I get feedback from Aiden, I'm looking at it like it's me, like it's right. Do we need to sign up? You fill out the form and then it'll say, where do you want your information sent? Where do you want your feedback sent? Yeah, that's it. And you hit done, and you only have to do that once. It's so ridiculously fast that I think you'll appreciate it. There's no monkey business going on. So, yeah, check it out. And then lastly, another important service, another AI type company. QuantBox will automate your macroeconomic research for you. So you can get things like this where you can open up the S&P 500. You look at retail positioning. You look at institutional positioning. You can get all the economic data from the economy. You can get the technical trend looking back 14 days and projecting 7 days in advance. You can look at seasonality, which is 20 years worth of data. You have the news coming up. You have a written output in English. You have your scorecard where it takes all this information and basically says good or bad, good or bad, good or bad, and creates a score, and you can get a bias out of it. You have the current price, you have current there, you have current targets. It's really beautiful. It's really, truly beautiful. Here's what a commitment of traders report looks like. Not a giant table of gobbledygook, but something that your human brain can actually be able to read. I've unleashed, I haven't put it on the webpage, and I haven't even told everybody yet. I got busy. I've only released maybe 6 or 7 upgrades, and there's probably another 6 or 7 more upgrades to release. And now QuantBox doesn't do simply quantitative analysis of economic data. It's also doing market analysis. And what do I mean by market? I mean like market sentiment. What are traders doing today? Are they buyers or sellers? Well, that could be different from the long-term economic sort of rationale. Something might be rationally bearish for the next, several months, but today it might be bullish. And so QuantBox now spends a lot of time looking at market sentiment of what is actually happening right now. And then there are other components that are released where QuantBox looks at like all the major economies around the world and projects out all the way to 2025. Okay. Okay. So anyways, check it out. It automates everything for you so you can trade like a hedge fund. Let's take a look around the world. I've been around the world and I can't find my baby. I don't know where and I don't know why. She's gone away. All right. So we have dollar index. We're now in that point where it's going to think about getting weak again. But historically, it's too early in August for the weakness to show up. But you can see the 786 of it. What I would like to see if I were to order up, right? Order up. I would like to see. I'd like to see us go all the way up here. And then probably that. That's what I would like if I were me. How many people would like something like that? Is anybody in on this? What do you think? Who's with me? It doesn't say it, but that's what I'd like. Yeah. Right on. Well, it would be before that, Frank. But like on your way to October, yeah. Typically, I wouldn't wait till October. It's usually like end of September. Maybe around a Fed meeting. I don't know. Yeah, so that's interesting, right? Well, let's see what's on your mind. Interesting. Mixed bag today. Thank you for completing the form. I appreciate that. Gold, Euro, Aussie, S&P. Wow. Interesting. All right. Well, let's start with, I guess, the S&P 500. I guess we can do commodities here. I think I have it. That's not the one I wanted. I guess we'll leave it. Let's maybe just go to a 15-minute chart. Is it still around? Yeah, I guess so. Non-farm payrolls. Trade plan was to have it come up to 45.00 and drop it like it's hot. And it's looking okay so far. My target today is, let's say, 44.50. So maybe make 50, 60 points on shorting the S&P 500 today. What do you think? Smell like a plan? Election mode grind. Too early for that. Too early. Yeah, Greg, I covered it Quant Box Live this morning. I covered Euro Aussie. It's heavily shorted by retail. Oh, it hurts laughing so hard for so long. Yeah. But it's at a key point, right? Yeah, it's at a key point. So, yeah, key point. Yeah, so it's kind of like I don't want to sell it, but I wouldn't buy it either for now. Okay, so what do you guys think? Will this trade plan work today? Will we get to 44.44? Is that reasonable? Who thinks that's reasonable? Okay, so here's what you would do. Okay, You would say, before I take this trade, I'm going to post it and see what Aiden thinks. And so you draw all your stuff on your chart so you don't have to go through the second step, right, and draw it here. But you could just draw it here. And you're like, okay, you could, I mean, I don't know if that helps, but anyways, you could add to it like that and then post it and see what Aiden thinks. Meanwhile, okay, so you will instantly get feedback from the AI. The AI will send you an email. Your feedback is not posted anywhere. It doesn't even go to the website. It's totally private, totally secure. It just goes to your email. And it happens instantly. But then anonymously, your chart, this chart you just uploaded, this image here, will get shared with humans. And it's anonymous, so they don't know it's you. It's just totally anonymous, and people vote. Do they agree or disagree? And you will be shared that information. In fact, it goes into your trade history when you post this. There's a trade history of all your trading ideas and whether they worked or not, but also what percentage of people agreed or disagreed with you. So you get social feedback, not just artificial feedback, but, right? Not just artificial intelligence, but human intelligence. Okay, all anonymous, all safe, all secure, all beautifully done. It really is something else. Well, see, Grind says, yeah, just more retail data, right? Yeah, but it is kind of laughable because, like, I think Greg said it last week. He's like, why would I care about what a bunch of other amateurs think about my trade? Well, remember, one of the goals is that I want us to all, well, I want Aiden to learn from us all. From Aiden's trade plans, but from retail trade plans, but also from, like, the voting of the aggregate masses. It can start to learn. All of this is really interesting information on aggregate, and the machine will continue to learn and get smarter. Lucas, well, that's what we all do, right, Lucas? So I wouldn't upload mediocre trades on purpose, because then I'm not feeding true information to Aiden. What would work best to get the preferred outcome, right, is that we all try to give it our best ideas, and then remember, it watches everything. So even if you've long forgotten your trade and maybe you took a 30 pip loss on it, Aiden doesn't know you took a loss on it. Aiden just knows what your trade plan was, and it'll keep watching it even if it takes 2 or 3 weeks. You'll keep watching it and learning and learning and learning and learning and learning and learning and learning. And it'll find out. Like, for example, right, Lucas, like, we might actually be better traders than our results show because we're dealing with our psychological aspects of being a trader. So we might bail out early or whatever, right? Aiden doesn't do that. He'll just watch every single trade. And you might have beautiful trade plans, but then on a human level, bring in some mediocrity. But your trading technically might be beautiful. And so I want him to learn from our best ideas and gather statistics in the background. Like, in a situation like this, there's a 62.384% chance of it working or not working, that kind of stuff. Yes, AI needs a teacher. Well, I've taught it how to trade. So I've taught it all my rules of engagement. Okay. It kind of does, Lucas, but it doesn't use it in that language because that would be subjective. a bad trade or a good trade. No, it'll tell you what it's thinking. You know? And you might look and say, oh, I totally missed that, because it's looking at multiple time frames and stuff. Okay? If it learns from retail, it'll learn everything exactly wrong. No. Because unlike humans, it learns from the failure. So, Andelo, if retail traders, let's just say what you're saying is they all suck. Okay, so if everyone uploads their best plans and their best plans suck, it'll learn every time that doesn't work. That, let's say selling high in an uptrend is a bad idea. Selling low in an uptrend is a bad idea. And it'll just keep learning and learning and learning, because it gets to see things and you're showing it. Look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that. And it's learning, learning, learning. Meanwhile, it never forgets, and it doesn't have a bias, and it doesn't have a care, and, all that kind of stuff. And I think it could help with show us more and more probabilities, but that'll take, let's say, after 1 million trades. I would love for the ability to be able to give you feedback like, wouldn't it be cool if it said, okay, your trade plan, it seems okay, but in similar situations, and it'd be great if it told you, after seeing similar situations 1,322 times, we think there's a 58% chance of failure. It might work out, but there's a pretty decent chance it won't. So be careful. Okay? And it would be nice to know that level of probabilities and stuff. Okay? So anyways, so I need your help. It's called the Aiden Project. I need you guys to actually use it so you can get feedback from AI and from humans. Okay? Oh, I didn't say it'll be randomness, but you can know probability. Okay? Like I said, it will learn from its failures. So I'm not preaching perfection, but it would be nice to have a second opinion, an unbiased second opinion. How about that? Richard says technical analysis proves that nothing's random, but with that being said, technical analysts struggle to predict the future. So that's where fundamentals come in. In particular, like most people think fundamentals are news. No, it's not news. But things like seasonality can be very helpful so that you can be prepared in the future. And then with the combination of technical analysis is, oh, my God. Seasonality combined with technical analysis has got to be one of the most beautiful, sexy things in trading. Okay? Okay. Well, Dello, the reason Aiden talks about moving averages is because in helping it write the email, I've asked it to use moving averages to explain in sort of like human form what it's thinking so that you can understand. But honestly, in the math of it analyzing the market, it actually doesn't use moving averages. Let me say that again. Aiden talks a lot about moving averages in his written overview. But I can tell you, because I helped develop the algorithms of teaching him, he doesn't actually use moving averages. But if he talked to you using moving averages, they're easy to see. So if he says, oh, well, the 21 is below the 55, so generally I'm bearish. You're like, oh, I understand that. But the truth is he doesn't use 21.55. He uses higher levels. We use them as basis of other calculations, but it's not like he's actually watching the 21.55. It's just part of the math. So, but it's easy to understand and it's easy to explain. Okay. So anyways, cool stuff. Cool beans, guys. All right, so if the S&P 500 comes down today, then gold is going to come down today. I already set this up yesterday, and it's already dropped, I don't know, 20 bucks, 15 bucks. It's not bad. Take a look at it on an hourly chart. It came up, hit our price exactly, 1946, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 hours of somewhat bearish. Okay, we'll see what happens here on the market open. This is a bull price, but I am a bear. Okay, but we are now caught on support. Okay. Oh, and by the way, talking about Aiden's feedback to you, I've asked him to explain a little bit more as well. So I think that's been implemented. Okay. Some sell-off in the 10-year. Yeah, but that's not the issue. So I saw that in Quant Box, that there's a net short, but there were quite a few buys, though, too. There were quite a few long contracts purchased, but then quite a few long contracts sold. So the net, week over the week net change in the 10-year T-note is negative. But that doesn't fully explain why the 10-year T-note is well over 4%. So I talked about that at the Quant Box Live presentation this morning. So if you want to know more about that, let me get the link for you. YouTube.com at Quant Box. Okay. So if you want to know why I think the yield on the 10-year T-note is really, really high, this is the link. And it's released at 10 a.m. Of course, if you're already a subscriber to Quant Box, just log in. It's already there. But if you're not a paid subscriber, you can have it for free at 10 a.m. So you can click the Notify Me button. In 76 minutes, you can be informed, but I did this at 6:30 in the morning. Okay. Send me an email, Kyle. Wayne at fxbootcamp.com. Okay. So here's the link for everybody. You can watch it for free. Okay, so it's doing something where it's not renewing you for some reason. Yeah. Okay. Well, Andelo, watch the video and I give you a deep understanding of why. Richard says he watches it every morning, but I feel like I get it late. Yeah, we'll pay the money. Oh, right on, Sky Killer. Yeah, I like it because how quiet it was. It felt kind of real, if you will. Like it was just happening, but there was no soundtrack. I hear people that are in active combat, they say it's really weird because it's quiet. Yes, there's explosions and stuff going on, but there's like no soundtrack. You're so used to movies, right? So I've heard people like they're standing talking to each other on the sidewalk or whatever on the street, and they're talking about something, and then they're like, did somebody just shoot at us? Right? Like, was that a bullet? Like, right? You're like, but there's no like dramatic soundtrack in the background. Bum bum da 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 rum, bum bum bum. You're like, or doo, right? And you're like, no. You're like, damn, did someone just take a shot at us? That's what I liked about that movie. You're like, is this a financial crisis? Like, is this bank going out of business? Yeah. But where's the eerie, suspenseful music? The email. What email? Yeah, I've already gone to support with that, and they don't understand what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna have to. I spent hours on support this weekend, and now I'm gonna have to go back and figure out that. But that's on the to-do list of them. So that's unfortunate. But here's the thing: just log into your account, and it's there on your dashboard, right? But anyways, yeah, life's complicated. But anyways, yeah, I might be a seller of gold a little bit higher. So again, probably on tomorrow's sell zone. So I got to twist this bearish. And that's my first thought here. Trade plan A, a little higher. 1936 ideally, or keep it below the 2155, I mean 58. Okay, yeah. I think Aiden here would be bearish and probably confident, actually. Not that there's a high probability, but it's more like there doesn't seem to be anything really stopping it in the moment. Now, of course, things could change here, but I'm pretty sure the AI would say, yeah, it is bearish in multiple ways. And so if it wanted to continue mission, it certainly could. And, in this case, a short-term target here would be a double bottom. Okay. And now it's not, it doesn't really think double bottom. It's thinking about range. So based on what has happened, you look at it and say, well, like let's say you calculate the variance. And so what would, if you took the average variance and you added it to a confident bearish outlook, then you would look at the variance and say, well, based on the variance, we're on our way here, which is a double bottom. You see what I mean? Okay. Does that make sense? Yeah, there's a lot of stop losses under that bottom. I don't think we'll get there, though. Like, I think the biggest outlook here is like something I've already drawn. I did this last week. The target is 1885, I believe it was. I think I did this, the swing trading group, which was Thursday. And then I repeated it on non-farm payrolls on Friday. And then I did it again last night on Sunday. Now it's Monday, and we're about halfway there. And the target is 1891. So we'll just call it 1900. And then I wouldn't be shocked if I were me that I take this up over $2,000, over 2,100 by the end of the year. Okay. No, that wouldn't be it, JP, but let me look. It's supposed to be there unless for some reason. Let me check this out. It should be there. Thursday. Yeah, I guess not. QB Live. Yeah. All right. I can rectify that now, I think. QB. Why isn't it up there? Thumbnail is done. It's published. It's hidden. Oh, this should say Monday. Hang on. Maybe it just wasn't done, the process, and it was waiting for confirmation. I think it should be there now. Oh, it's under the wrong title, too. All right. Save. One, two, three. Why is it? One. It's in a different order, which I think is interesting. 1, 2, 3. It should be going down. Why is it out of order here? It goes 3, 7, 1, 2, but I have it as 1, 2, 3, 7. Interesting. I'll move things around. It's a pain in the butt for me, but I'll move it around. Hang on. So 7, 3, 7, 3, 2, 1. Refresh. 7, 3, 2, 1. All right, now it's there. Monday. Okay, so there it is. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, I need some coffee, man. I think I've had 7 shots of Nespresso. My cup is empty. Got to go for 10 or 12. Cool. No, it's just busy. It's just busy. I'm busy. I'm busy. Life's busy. Life's good though. I'm happy. How are you guys emotionally right now? Are you happy? Are you focused? Or do you have like sort of distractions of life tugging you left and right? It's hard to find balance. It really is. And yeah, finding balance is what brings me the most stress. But I'm happy. I'm happy that we have our communities. There's lots of different things that I have going on now. I'm really happy with Tradeplans.ai. I really am. It was an idea 3 months ago. I said, I got to do something with AI. It cannot be ignored. I'm an old venture capitalist, right? Like, I see the future. I'm like, oh my God. It's amazing. And my son wants to study AI in university. So I'm like, well, I got to do something. I got to do something. I got to just show him how do you build an AI company. So anyway, so here we are, less than 90 days away. I have a team in Hong Kong building this AI, and I have been able to teach it how to trade, and it's pretty good. And to now have it feels really rewarding. I'm losing a lot of money. That part I don't like. But it's amazing that it can be done now. Like the computing power of what we're using, sitting on Amazon web servers, using machine learning and neural networks built into Amazon AWS, we're utilizing this stuff. Not long ago, that would have been impossible. Okay. So the fact that we can leverage this is really wild. Yeah, is really wild. And to have it like be able to communicate in human form, and it thinks. I literally pay money for it to think. It's really something else. It like it when you post a plan, the hamster wheel over at AWS starts turning. It's looking at all this data, and I get a bill. Like somewhere, a server room gets warmer because you posted a trade plan. Heat is generated, energy is expended. It's really neat. And then it writes you an email. I don't even know what it writes. It's crazy. So anyways, that makes me excited. That makes me excited because that's just cool. No, I know, Meta. Well, but I'm spending. I'm not losing it. I didn't mean to lose it. But I might be so bold and just ask for some donations or something. If like 100 people donated $100 because they like the idea too, that would be helpful. I might just put a little thing on there, something like that. Chip in, pay for some gas. So anyways, who knows? Pound, piggy pound. What do you think about the piggy pound? Okay, piggy pound. It's holding up here, but remember this time of year we expect sideways. Okay? The idea is still unknown? What idea? Like, what do you mean unknown? Well, it'd be one of those things, I guess, Andela, like you should use it. And if you don't get it, you probably won't use it and you probably won't contribute. Yeah, then don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. All right. So anyways, pound would be interesting if it did turn over. Notice the top. And as you guys probably already know, last GDP out of the UK was 0.1. We have GDP this week, and they're expecting 0.0. Yeah, what am I hiding from you? Yeah, don't contribute. Don't do it. Cool. Yeah. New Zealand. Okay. Remember, it was a downtrend, and then it was trying to stabilize, and then it re-entered the downtrend. Isn't that cool? So, like, if we get rid of this part, this is the short versus medium term idea. Okay. If you had stayed with it as a bear, even though there was a big run up, on the long term, it's always been bearish. It stayed bearish. Andelo, it's a secret, man. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to use AI and get you. Yeah, man, don't worry about it. You don't know me that well, and AI is strange. It's new. It's scary. Don't do it. I'm not here to tell you you should. I'm gonna run to you. Right, until. So yeah, don't worry about it, man. Okay, check this out. Yen is so weak. It's crazy weak. It just hasn't fallen for weeks. Isn't that funny? It's weak, but it hasn't fallen for weeks. I think it will fall again. And I have explained many times when I think it will. And so I'll just get ready and I'll set it up and take it down. Right? Is CAD the best non-reserve currency right now since the second highest previous GDP under US? Well, let's talk about the fundamentals of it, not just the GDP. Now, Quant Box, you can pull the GDP apart from all the different major currencies and then compare and contrast. And you can also look at the monetary policy projections out to the end of 2024, beginning of 2025, which is 18 months from now. You can compare and contrast. But then you should ask, like, why is there a flow of capital to or out of Canada? And that's what we really care about, don't we? See, if, let's say, Canada had a closed economy, then the value of the Canadian dollar wouldn't change no matter what GDP was. There's no exports, no imports, so the value of the currency would not change. It wouldn't matter if the economy is doing well or not. It's a closed economy. So ultimately, we, as macroeconomists, we have to think bigger than that and say, well, we care about imports and exports. And Canada, let's say, is exporting exactly the normal amount. There's no shortage, there's no surplus. Just there's the normal amount. Canada produces something and sells it to foreigners. Cool. Now, what if the price of those assets, whether it's barley or wheat or beef or gold or diamonds or uranium or oil, nickel, copper, cobalt, okay? If the price of those things are going to go up, well, Canada was going to produce all that stuff anyways. Do you understand that? So Canada didn't know 6 months ago or even 6 years ago, like if Canada was drilling a well 6 years ago, they didn't know what the price of oil was going to be today. Right? So it will benefit if oil prices are high. Like, oh, good. That's what we needed. We hoped oil prices would be, let's say above $80 or above $75. And, our break-even point is $60, but $90 would be even better. $100 would be great. But our break-even is 60. We really want 75, but 82, 83, shoot, we're happy with that. And if you think about that across the board, like if prices are returning, right, or let's say, because we've gone through a period over the last, let's say, year of declining prices, if prices have stabilized and now are expected to go up for the next 3 or 6 months, well, then Canada would be a beneficiary because it's going to export this stuff. And on the short run, people are probably not changing their orders and stuff. So Canada will benefit from generally higher prices. Now, no exporter wants prices so high that nobody can afford it because that will destroy demand. But if oil goes from 70 to 80, it won't destroy any demand, but it will be more profitable. And so Canada might be a beneficiary, at least on the short run. And you want to look at it that way. So it's not necessarily that GDP in Canada is better relative to like the UK. Canada is 2 or 3 and UK is 0 or negative. Europe is negative. Okay, that kind of stuff. Japan is negative or slightly positive. And you're like, well, Canada is so much better. Well, really, it's the next step. Imports and exports. If currency doesn't cross a border, then the value of the currency doesn't change. So the value of the Cuban peso never changes. But they will pay twice as much for a US dollar than 6 months ago. And 6 months ago, they paid twice as much for a US dollar than they did 6 months before that. The peso hasn't changed. The demand for the dollar has changed. And I suspect when I'm there, I will find that almost everything is the same price in peso. And oddly, some things are exactly the same. And this is where Maida gets upset. Like the hotel benefits the government, right? I'm sure somehow the government gets some love from the hotel. The hotel is charging me just as much as they did 6 months ago, even though the value of my dollars doubled. And I'm paying in dollars. And they're like, yep, it's still X amount of dollars. But my dollars doubled, but the price is the same. So they're benefiting from that. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting things that will have changed in price and a lot of things that haven't changed in price. And I'm very interested because I don't know anything. There's not many closed economies left in the world. And I like Cuba better than North Korea. Are there any luxury hotels in Cuba, 5 stars? Yes, there are, in fact. The one I'm staying in is a historic one. And yeah, it's pretty close. I wouldn't call it, well, yeah, it's nice. It's old. But yes, yeah, it's 5 star. But there's some other ones near the Central Park. I can't remember the name. Near the Capitol building. There's a couple. I can't quite remember them. But the answer is yes. There are some really high-end, very fancy, modern, well-serviced, well-staffed, beautiful, rooftop decks and lounges and restaurants. But not many. And here's the thing. Like the hotel I'm thinking about, it's near the park, kind of across the street from La Floridia, Cafe La Floridia. So it's like in that little touristy area. I don't know, I have the Fitzgerald in my brain, but that's not it. I can't think of the name. But look, I think it's like something like $800 a night, USD. A doctor makes $40 a month, and it's $800 a night. You're like, wait, what? And it's 5 stars. Yeah, you'll have a nice time there. And the rooftop deck is great. But a typical tourist can spend $30 a night. And even cheaper if you stay with local families. It's kind of like a shared Airbnb. And there are Airbnbs, but I think it's complicated to pay for unless you're European. But then you could even stay with families where they kind of live downstairs and you rent the upstairs and you get a little apartment and a little balcony and they bring you breakfast and it's like a whopping $20 a day. Yeah, it's really cool. And they take care of you, right? Yeah, there's some pretty neat things that you can do. Okay. Yeah. Oh, hey, Andelo, if we're boring you, you can leave. Okay. Yeah. I'm talking about macroeconomics and studying what changes the value of a currency in a commodity. And we're from all around the world, so many people would want to know what is a closed economy like? What is it like? Now, travel has been a focus of my entire life, and I've been blessed to have gone to really the whole world. And so it's interesting to share these experiences of what is this economy like versus that economy, and share that world experience. But right. But yeah, that's right. Buzzkill. Thanks, Johnny. All right. So anyways, Euro doing really well. And we were just talking about Canada. And that's how Cuba came up. Canada exports natural resources to the world. And if you see if inflation in commodity prices returning, Canada will benefit because it's an exporter. Cuba is not. Cuba is a closed economy. And if it does anything, it imports things. But like, I'll give you another great example. I was at a fancy restaurant in Cuba, and I open up the menu, and I'm like, oh, I'll have the octopus. No octopus. Oh, okay. So I look on the menu again. Well, I'll have the crab or lobster or whatever it was. They're like, no lobster. I'm like, do you have any seafood? No seafood. I'm like, and I'm joking with the guy. I'm like, dude, we are 2 blocks from the ocean. You live on an island. There's lots of ocean. I said, how come you don't have any seafood? Well, the boats don't have any gasoline. I'm like, what? The entire country lacks food from the ocean. It's an island surrounded by ocean, and you can't get food out of the ocean? Oh, no gasoline. And you're like, oh my God. Can you imagine starving to death and you're just staring at the ocean full of food? So if you do get octopus on your menu, it's probably a fancy restaurant, probably a fancy hotel. And some guy got this by walking along the waterfront, and he got the octopus out of the rocks with a fishing pole. He didn't go way out to sea, 3 miles at sea. He just went out on the pier or something and was able to get octopus. But it's only 6 feet offshore. So it's like that kind of like scarcity. If you don't have fuel, your economy is going to be slow. There's a direct correlation, by the way, with countries being able to access cheap energy. And when a country can access cheap and plentiful energy, GDP goes up. You're very productive. But if you can't get fuel to your car, you can't drive to work. If you can't put fuel in the boats, you don't eat seafood. You see? If you can't get parts for your tractor, your farm is going to be less productive because the tractor will sit there and now you're tilling your field with a donkey. Donkeys are less productive than tractors. And it's harder to flip a donkey. I would ride a donkey once, but it fell over. So anyways. Yeah, Maida, they do that in places like Vietnam and where else? Not Laos, maybe Cambodia. Yeah. Yeah, you're growing. You know, I was in Florida, in a part of Florida where shrimping has been a big deal for a very long time. And the interesting thing is, in the shipping business around let's say after the Civil War, 1880 or something, ships from up north started to hit Florida with produce. There was a new technology back then, and they were able to load ships with, I don't know, tomatoes and lettuce and stuff from the north, and they'd bring it down, and the ships were cooled with ice. And it was a new technology to be able to make cheap ice and enough ice to fill an entire ship. And so the ship would get to Florida and unload it. But they had all this ice. And in the first time in history, there was enough ice where you could then harvest shrimp, put it back on the boat, because shrimp will spoil in a day. So suddenly you can harvest all this shrimp by netting and then put the shrimp on the boat full of ice and send it back north. And it was boom time for that part of Florida. And so now you could be in New York City and have shrimp. Pretty amazing. But you know what's really amazing? Then sort of like in the 60s and 70s, they started to grow shrimp. Oh. And they basically grew like protein. Like there's no head. There's no legs. And apparently it's really weird that now that shrimp you get for cheap, that fried shrimp that you get, or shrimp that goes on your salad, and shrimp you buy at the grocery store, and they're fresh caught or farm raised. Actually, farm raised means they grow this like a pure protein, like a fruit, and it's not really an animal. I'm like, really? And at least this is what the fishermen were telling me in Florida. They're like, it's down to only like 7 families. That's how small the actual industry is. Like 7 families in this port town go out and actually trawl with nets to get shrimp. And they're like, but the stuff you get at your grocery store is farm raised. And they're like, they're not even real animals. Yeah, they're not even real animals. They're just like some sort of weird protein that is just grown. And they're like, our shrimp tastes better because it ate food. Had, it had a body. Yeah. Ugh. Anyway, so I don't know if it's true, but that was from them. Yeah. Meta says Cuba open for foreign investors, and that's not what I was told. I asked a lot. Well, I didn't ask. I asked around, but I suppose not a lot. But I did ask. I said, "Hey, if I came in with like $1 million in Canadian money, could I like buy some of these old houses and fix them up?" And he's like, "No, no, you can't do that." I know it gets done, but it seems to be like it's money from I don't even remember, some Latin American country. Yeah, but very few. It didn't seem like Canadian entrepreneurs were in there, but if you were like Venezuelan or something, and buddy buddies with so and so, I think so. But the general answer I got, as a capitalist pig dog, I just saw all the amazing potential, and they're like, no, not for you. But but like again, I maybe it's just me. They're like, you, no. Anyways, okay. So the next big question that I've been asking myself is, get back into this sucker. I sold this and lost money. Where did I do it? Oops. I have to add. Well, maybe not. Oh, those are annual. That's why. Let me change this. And it was monthly. Okay. I sold this down here, basically the same price. And I missed that. Oh. So I sold here, very quickly lost some money. And now we're back into the game. And on the long run, I believe this still will work. Meta says, and $1 million is nothing. It's true. So if you have big Venezuelan oil money, yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I realize that. I'm not from the right place. I don't know the right people, and I don't have enough money. That's true. Okay. Right. But, but that's devastating too, because I've seen some of those investments, and let me show you. I'll show you how beautiful Cuba is. Oh, wait, I can't think of the name. What is the name of that hotel? Havana Racing Car Hotel. No. Had to do with the Cuban Grand Prix. So someone put a lot of money into this hotel. It's really beautiful. I think it's this one. Let me open it up because I think. Yeah, okay. So I've been to this hotel in Cuba. So this is Cuba. This is in Havana, not far from my hotel, actually. And it's in a beautiful old neighborhood. You can see the buildings are just beautiful. Up top, there's a beautiful rooftop deck. Inside, there's a great restaurant. And it's named after a famous, I think he was Argentine, racer, I think, or maybe Spanish. Racer, I've forgotten his name, which one it was. And there was a Cuban Grand Prix and all that kind of stuff. So it's all racing. Now, if you go through this gate, in the back, there are some more like little villas, very, very modern, a giant garden, a huge bar. Okay. And it's just beautiful, right? The rooms are nice. Okay, cool theme. I mean, look at it. So you go down this little pathway. You can see the beautiful modern villas back there. Yeah, I've stood right there. It's small but beautiful, right? And there's more pictures. If you want to see it, you should go to Cuba and stay here. Now, here's the interesting thing. I went in the back, and there's probably 4 young women who are servers, waitresses, or whatever. It's nicer. You can't say waitress. It's nicer than that. And there's a couple of dudes, aka bartenders, in the back. And there's about 4 of those beautiful villas, like 2 or 3 bedroom villas for guests. And in this, they have a bunch of rooms. I can't remember. I don't know, 8 rooms. Okay, 8 hotel rooms, I guess it'll say on the site. But there are a few, quite a bit here and in the back. So you can imagine there's 15 to 20 guests staying at this hotel if it was full. So I get there, and like there's 4 or 5 waitresses in the back. There's 2 or 3 bartenders. And then I speak to, we got a server. She came up to us and she's like, "Can I help you?" And can we go to the rooftop deck? Yeah. So we walk up the stairs and we go up to the rooftop deck, and it's beautiful, incredibly decorated, very modern, just awesome. I think another server to serve the guests, and I think 1 or 2 more bartenders. There's a restaurant with servers. There's a kitchen staff, and there's the concierge guy to check you in. Here he is. So he sits here all day. There's a kitchen staff, the cook. They set the tables. They take the tables down. Okay, it's nice. Okay, indoors and outdoors. Look at the outdoor garden. It's nice. This place is nice. You'd have a good time. Here's is that the rooftop deck? That might be the rooftop deck. Yeah. Okay, it's nice, right? Guess what? Not one guest. Not one person staying in the hotel. Not one person in the restaurant. All day. Not one person in the garden. But they have a chef. So they put these glasses up and then they take them down. And that's why they probably earn $1 a day. So some guy in Venezuela probably owns it, fixed it all up with his oil money, stays there when he's there, and he's required to have a staff of 30 people, costs him $30 a day, costs him $1,000 a month. No big deal. but it's beautiful. So if you're there, they would love to see you because they have nothing to do. Della says that's pure corruption. It seems, well, since I'm going to be there, it's not for me to say. I don't want to say yes or no, but it's different. Okay, it's different. But so somebody asked, are there 5-star hotels? And yeah, not many, but there are some. Oh, the Kempinski is the one I think I'm thinking of. A hotel. Let me go to the website. Yeah, so here's a hotel in Havana that's 5 stars. Yeah, I've been on this roof. That's what I like to do is twirl when I walk the streets. She's twirling more. Honey, this is a no twirling zone, sweetie. Papa squat. So yeah, do they have 5-star hotels? They do. Let's book one. Let's book a room. So I'm going to be there at this period. I got to get back because of the 3rd week. Okay, explore options. Okay, a cheap room. Oh, ooh, look at that. All right. Okay. $324 a night. In Cuba, that's extraordinarily expensive. Extraordinarily. So in the 5-star hotel I'm staying at, it would be 50% more, but for all 4 nights, this is $1,000. So this is twice as much as the other one. This is extraordinarily expensive. This is like a year's salary. Okay. Oh, Don Pablo, please email me so I know, okay? But anyways, a Cuban makes $30 a month. And so you can just see like that's a year's salary per night for a cheap room. Yeah, it's really something. It's really something. So like you couldn't dream of even going into this hotel for if you were Cuban. It's just ridiculous. Let me show you there's a pool. That's not it. Yeah, look how nice this is. Oh, more details. I mean, look at that. It's crazy, right? I mean, that's nice, right? I mean, that's nice on anybody's standard, right? But it'd be like right? It'd be a different planet. Okay, anyways. Yeah, Don Pablo, can you email me, please? Oh, okay. Yeah, mate, I don't stay there, but I know of it for sure. All right, so yeah, I gotta yell at this guy again. Okay. Do you guys get an email? Not an email, an error message. What does Aiden say? Like, or do you just nothing happens? Just nothing happens? Okay. So I have a meeting in a half an hour with the development team. All right. So anyways, let's go to Euro. I'm bullish on Euro. Very nice. There's our buying zone. Our target conservatively is just almost to 111. Somewhere up near 111. Things have been going great since the London Open. Very nice. Bullish Euro? Yeah, for sure. Yes, relatively, yeah, relative to other central banks. It's not the no cuts, Sky Killer. They will raise interest rates. Even if other central banks are cutting interest rates. Now, interest rate cuts are priced in. They're not necessarily going to happen. Okay. Even in August, here's the thing. I wouldn't trade euro dollar. Okay. So, like, one thing that we've been following is like Euro Aussie. Well, the whole month of August is already done. We're already done. Do you understand that? The month of August is done for Euro Aussie. And now you should be planning September. Now, of course, retail traders come in and they're like, wait, what? I'm just doing today. No, the month is done. And you probably, you should be setting up September's trade plan. Okay, the market is open. Let's see the initial response. Okay. Let's do a variance from here. Okay. So yeah, a lower high today would be very interesting on the S&P 500. There's a bit of up right now. That's fine. So we got to watch that. Yeah, we got to watch that. So I'm sure you have a bias for the stock market. sure you have a bias for the US dollar. I'm sure you have a bias for the USD yen and euro and Swissy and Aussie and pound and Kiwi and And then you need to be adding some seasonality to that to know the normal ebb and flow of those currencies. And you're deciding to shoot at rabbits or sharpen your sword or arrows, waiting for big game. So peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May our profits be above average. Thank you very much for being part of our community. I appreciate what we do. I believe what we do is good. No, I don't give you rah-rah, get-rich-quick speeches. And yes, I do babble from time to time, but I'm trying to cover, big complex concepts. And there are many different ways to do it. Storytelling, to me, is a great way to learn because it appeals to a different part of your brain. Now, I can do the college lecture, but many of you have gone through that and may have learned nothing from a college professor. I try to combine both. Okay? And I'm willing to go to great lengths to continue learning. And then I go to great lengths to share my experience. So thank you for being part of this community and making it wonderful every single day. If you're in my day trading group at Investor Bootcamp, I will see you at 4. If you're using Tradeplans.ai, apparently emails are not being sent, but it's probably an easy fix. It's probably just a SMTP server error somewhere. So I will be meeting now with that team, and we'll get her done. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Have a great day. Cheers. Ciao. That just happened.